Hi everyone, my name is Chris and this is my friend Nick.
Hola.
Have you ever caught a snowflake on your glove and wondered where they came from and how they're made? Well, today we're going to explore those very questions and even make our own snowflake. This activity will touch on every aspect of STEAM-based learning, including science, technology, engineering, the arts, as well as mathematics.
Before we begin, let's talk a bit about snowflakes and what they are made of. Snowflakes are made of tiny crystals. Crystals are a special kind of solid material where the molecules that they are made from fit together in a pattern that keeps repeating itself. You can find all sorts of crystals in nature. Some are minerals that you might find in rocks. Others are crystals that are made of living organisms. You even have crystals in your body, mostly making up your bones and teeth. Similarly, snowflakes are made of frozen ice crystals. As you can see, crystals can form all sorts of unique shapes since different molecules in the atoms that they are built from have different chemical structures and form different patterns as they grow. Crystals often form when liquids cool and then start to harden slowly. Certain atoms in the liquid cling to each other by electrical forces as they try and become stable. This process of crystal formation is called crystallization. One thing that you'll notice about snowflakes is they all have 6 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is referred to as six-fold rotational symmetry. The ice crystals in snowflakes have six-fold rotational symmetry because of the structure of the water molecules that they're made of. Water is composed of 1 atom of oxygen and 2 atoms of hydrogen. That is why it's also called by its chemical formula H2O. As water freezes, water molecules bind to other water molecules and crystallize into a 6-sided structure, or hexagon, where each point on the hexagon is an oxygen atom and each side of a hexagon is a hydrogen bonded to an oxygen. As freezing continues, more water molecules are added to this microscopic 6-sided structure. Eventually, this process of ice crystallization causes it to grow in size into the 6-armed structure that we recognize as a snowflake. A snowflake first begins to form when an extremely cold water droplet freezes onto a pollen or dust particle in the sky. This creates an ice crystal. As the ice crystal falls, water vapor freezes onto this primary crystal, building new crystals and forming the 6 arms of the snowflake. In fact, scientists have actually studied how ice crystals and snowflakes form. From their research, we know that several of the different variables or conditions that make crystals into different shapes. As a snowflake falls through the sky, differences in humidity or water vapor combine with differences in temperature to cause different types of crystals to form. The result of all of these complex physical and chemical changes results in an amazing and beautiful snowflake that we're all familiar with. Since snowflakes begin to form way up in the sky, they're exposed to humidity and temperatures that are constantly changing. Every little gust of wind carries our little snowflake to a different set of variables. By the time our snowflake reaches the ground, it can have wonderfully complex shapes and sizes. Because of all of these variables and different isotopes of hydrogen and water molecules, it is highly unlikely that any 2 snowflakes are exactly alike.
Alright, now that we have an idea of how snowflakes are made, why don't we try to make one for ourselves? Nick here is going to help us out. Now, we're not going to exactly copy all those different changes in temperature and differences in humidity, but what we are going to do is make a crystal that will last longer than a snowflake, and one that you yourself can keep.
In the kit that we have provided to you, you will find instructions on how to make a snowflake, as well as the following materials: Epsom salt and pipe cleaners. Things that you will need to provide include paper towels or a plate for observation, and also paper towels for cleaning up, scissors, water, measuring cups that measure 1/3 and 1/4 of a cup, a spoon or other utensil for stirring, and a small bowl or container. You should also ask an adult to help you with this activity.
Step 1. The first thing we want to do is create a snowflake with 6 arms out of the pipe cleaners. If you're feeling adventurous, you can use the scissors to cut extra pieces from the pipe cleaners and then add them to the arms to make more complicated shapes, but you don't need to do this. All right, for step 2, it's really important that you have an adult to supervise part of this activity because we need to heat some water and we do not want to burn ourselves. What we're going to do is make a supersaturated solution. A supersaturated solution is a mixture of a lot of one substance into a liquid. The result is that the substance does not completely break down to dissolve into this liquid. In this case, we'll be mixing Epsom salts with the water. To help dissolve the salt as much as we can, it helps to have it hot. So what we're going to do in step 2 is heat 1/4 cup of water on the stove or in the microwave. We just want the water hot but not boiling.
All right, once you've gotten your water, go ahead and heat it up just a little bit, either using the stove or use the microwave. Remember, we don't want it to boil, we just want to heat it up.
For step 3, combine hot water and 1/3 cup of Epsom salt. This makes a supersaturated solution. For step 4, place your snowflake into your bowl and pour the Epsom salt mixture on top, covering them.
All right, for step 5, place your container in the refrigerator for a few hours. About 4 hours, or you can leave it even longer. You can even leave it overnight. This will cause your snowflake to supercool quickly and crystals to form faster.
And finally, in step 6, you'll see crystals start forming as the mixture begins to cool. When you're happy with the amount of crystals that have formed, you can lift your snowflake out of the bowl. You might need to gently break your snowflake free if need be using a fork or a spoon. This can get messy, so make sure you have some paper towels on hand to clean up any of the drips.
And you're done. This is a lovely piece of art that you made through science.
So today we learned all about snowflakes, where they come from, why they have 6 points, why they're all different from one another, and that they're made out of ice crystals. We also learned how to make these types of crystals with our snowflake. In this simple physical reaction, you use science as you deal with the formation of ice crystals. You use the technology of scissors, and since you design and build your own snowflake out of pipe cleaners, you use engineering. You also use art since you've just made a really pretty snowflake. Snowflakes always have 6 sides or points, and you also had to measure out specific amounts of Epsom salt and water, so you also are using math.
The next thing you can do is ask wonder questions. Think about ways that we could change this experiment. For example, what happens if you leave the snowflake in the salt solution for a longer duration of time? What happens if you add food coloring to the Epsom salt mixture? What happens if you put your snowflake in a freezer instead of the refrigerator? And what happens if you put your snowflake back in pure water? Remember to always ask wondering questions.
Thanks for watching.
Adios, amigos and amigas.